and this is the Animal Experience, and it's episode 24. Now, episode 24 is a very special episode. I say that a lot, but I do mean this. There's a lot of times on the Animal Experience when I'm able to, tell you what I've heard from the animals. And a lot of what's going to be going on in episode 24 is the animals are going to be really and truly showing you how amazing they are, how amazing we can be when we line up with things, and how they believe that it's the most important thing to feel good. So what I wanted to do was I just wanted to let you know that this is a pretty special episode for me. So I have some tissues because I have a feeling I'm going to be crying a little bit. Speaking about some of my healing or amazing pet clients. And yeah, so it's going to be probably a tearjerker for me. I don't know about for you, but probably for me. So let's get to it. So this is episode 24, and it is about something called the stream of well-being. Now, when I first heard about this, I first heard about it from the animals, and it was very new in my time as an animal communicator. I had reconnected, and I was doing animal communication courses all over the country, but primarily also on the East Coast. And I kept hearing this all over the time, especially with the animals who were going through or currently or had been going through health issues. I was asking them, how are they feeling? How are they doing? What's going on? And they would say to me, well, I'm lined up with my stream of well-being, so it's all good. Or I'm flowing really well with my stream of well-being. And I would ask them, what's the stream of well-being? And they would tell me this is a universal flow of energy from the goddess and the gods. And I wasn't quite sure what that meant, but so I later on I found out, because they would go into it, but they wouldn't go into it into more of a detail that I needed them to. So later on, so I knew about the stream of well-being for years, but then later on I would go to, I got connected to something called, or someone called Abraham Hicks. And if you don't know about Abraham Hicks, it is a woman by the name of Esther Hicks who channels a series of non-physical entities called Abraham. And they started, I was at one of their courses, and funny enough, they said the words. They said, and the stream of well-being is flowing to everyone. And I was like, whoa, that's wild. I've never heard that before. I never knew that before. I never thought of that before. So I found out. So what it was. So what is the stream of well-being? Well, the stream of well-being is a stream of energetic positivity, to a certain extent, that is flowing to every being on this planet. Every single being on this planet, every single moment, every single second, every single day. And what it is that it is this positivity that is flowing with things like health. Well-being is a lot of things. Well-being is health, it's abundance, it's prosperity, it's fun, it's good times, it's joy, it's experiences, whether that's good or bad, but usually it's good experiences. It's a whole myriad of different things that it could possibly be. So the stream of well-being is this entity, this flowing of entity from divine itself that is always flowing to you. And the when you're feeling good, when you're tapped in, when you're tuned in, when you feel connected, you are really riding your stream of well-being. It's what I call the white water of your stream of well-being. Now, when you're just feeling really, really good, hi, Elizabeth. When you're just feeling really, really good and you're feeling mellow and you're feeling good, then you're probably just gliding with your stream of well-being, but you're still in your stream of well-being. The more you tune into this, the more you are going to become a master at it. Animals are masters at it. They know how to tap into it. How do you tap into it? Well, you do things that make you feel good. I know it sounds crazy and I know it sounds just like simple, but hi, Janice. But it is. It really is. You do things. You'll know when you're out of your stream of well-being. Because when you're out of your stream of well-being, you don't feel good. You are in things like doubt, things like worry. You are maybe not sleeping well, or you're restless, or you're angry, or you're quick-tempered, or you're grumpy pants, or you're impatient. So it can be a myriad of different ways. It could be different emotions. But what it is that the more intense you feel, and on the negative side, is the more you're out of your stream of well-being, so to speak. So animals tap into it by doing what feels good to them. They are in what I call, again, I say it, and it's not about this person in general, it's the epitome of what it means. They are in this Christ-like consciousness. They are constantly connected. They are happy. They are in their joy. They're feeling good. They don't want to, be, defined by abuse or the past, or they're living their life. They're in the present. They're just not worried about the future. They're not worried about the past. They don't care. They're in the present, just moment, just enjoying a cat, just sitting in the sun, being just enjoying. That is an animal in their stream of well-being. So what happens when you're not tapped into it is a little bit what I was saying before, but usually it comes up when you're not tapped into your stream of well-being, or to different degrees. There are mental things going on, so worry, concern, squirrel mind. Emotional, your emotions might be all over the place. You might be angry, you might be sad, you might be depressed. Can't be depressed and be in your stream of well-being. Okay. Physical ailments. Now, physical ailments, hi everyone. So now physical ailments and disorders. What I mean by that are, physical ailments like, anything from aches and pains to a degree, again, that small degree of being out of your stream of well-being, to things like, the big things like heart disease, cancer, things like that. That's letting you know you're not fully in your stream of well-being, because when you're fully in your stream of well-being, the body is in health. You're not feeling the disorders. You're not feeling sick. The manifestations, the physical manifestations usually come up, are the last things to come up when there's some stuff going on in the body, and I'll go more into that in 1 second. So what I was saying before was, when you have these things coming up that are making you feel ooky, it's your indicator that you're not in your stream of well-being. Now, animals go back in and out all the time, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. But animals go back in and out of it all the time. They're not constantly in it, because if they were, you would never see anything, negative going on with them. But dis-ease in the body is dis-easement in the body, the mind, or the spirit. And usually when you have dis-ease in the body and it's physical, something's been going on and you've been out of your stream, and other things have been going on for a while. So it's your indicator. So why is this so important to the animals? Well, when I connected to them, I found out that it is really important. I mean, it's not just like, it would be nice. It's like super important to them. it's as important as eating and drinking water. So they want to feel good. They make that the most important thing for them. They don't doubt that they can feel good. They know they can feel good. They know that essentially they can overcome anything. Hang on one second. I have to take a drink. Sorry. Excuse No. So they don't doubt that they can feel good. Many of them want to let go of their stuff. They don't want to hang on to their past. They don't want to hang on. They've learned from it. And they feel like they've grown from it and it's time to move on. It's so they let go of their stuff much easier. Excuse me. So they let go of their stuff much easier. Another reason is because they know they are divinely connected. Like children are, like we are, like many of us are. But even more so, everything they do, they consider it almost like a blessing to the oneness, what they call the God and the Goddess, which is the male and the female version of God. So they understand it's the way that the oneness wants them to live their lives. It's just that the oneness wants me to live like that. I trust the oneness. Ergo, I'm going to do everything I can to feel good. You know. The other reason is that it's simple. They have not been trained like humans to doubt. When they're left alone and they're not subjected to people or situations that put them into this place of doubt, their natural state of being is not to doubt. It doesn't mean that every once in a while they might have a hard time making a decision, but it's not like, I don't know if this is happening. I don't know if this is working. This is a little woo-woo for me, so I'm not really sure. And I don't know, the pills are making me nauseous. They're kind of making me nauseous. I don't know if they're making me nauseous. It's like, just they're not dealing with that kind of stuff that we have going on. So how do animals get back to their stream of well-being? First of all, it's by accepting all kinds of healing. Again, they don't say, they go with what feels right. They are tapped into their intuition, so to speak. They are. So what it is that they don't say to themselves, or they don't say to you, well, this is allopathic medicine, so, I'm only natural and stuff. It's whatever fits for that particular thing that's going on. It's whatever feels right to them. So they don't really they trust in us in our caregiving, but they don't really put conditions on things. They want to feel good, and they know and they trust that whatever they do, if they line up with it, no matter what it is, whether it's a energy healer or whether it's an oncologist or a radiologist or whether it is a voodoo doctor, okay, they're going to line up with it. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, just that the healing is coming. Okay? They also step into their stream of well-being by stepping into their joy of life, their exuberance for life. They get out of the minutia of worrying about this or that. And of course, they don't have to pay bills. We understand that. But, this is the way that we need to live our lives as well, because we can learn a lot from them. And when we put our joy first, we live our life the way we're supposed to. Another way is by following their heart and doing what feels right and doing it as much as possible. Being happy to them is the key to feeling good. And feeling good is the way to the stream of well-being. Now, it's surprisingly to me, it's often, them doing this is often a sign of them being just dumb animals. You know, look at that cow just in the middle of that damn, field, just chomping on that grass, doing nothing. Yeah, well, that animal is in their stream of well-being. How are you feeling? How's that farmer doing? Probably not so good, He's probably got, whatever going on in his body, and he's probably miserable and, doing all kinds of stupid stuff and not being happy. But that animal's thought of as being dumb. Right. Okay. It's mistaken as a sign of dumbness of animals when in fact, it shows their advancements and their mastery of the stream of well-being. You want to know how to get into your stream of well-being? Look to your animals or look to the animal kingdom. Another way is by not making things, and I understand this is interesting, but another way is by not making things into such a big, fat, hairy deal. Chill out. Now, I understand that can be tricky for humans. I get it. But you got to do whatever you can to make yourself chill out, talk yourself down off the ledge. Ooh, Carrie Font is here. Carrie Font is one of the people whose animal I'm going to be talking about today, who is an unbelievable master of the stream of well-being. So, hi, Carrie. Thank you for for listening, and please drive carefully. So, they don't make things into a big, fat, hairy deal. All right? They make getting back into their stream the most important things of all of their things. Getting back into their stream is their focus, because they know if they get back into that stream, it's all good. I'm good. Go! It's all good. I get back into that stream, everything else will take care of itself. It's a magical thing. It really is. When you tone yourself into the stream of well-being, and I'll give you a little bit of insights into the stream of well-being, but while I remember, a book that maybe you might want to read is a book called A Person by the Name of Abraham Hicks, and I talked about them in the beginning. Abraham Hicks is a woman by the name of Esther Hicks, and she channels a non-physical group of entities called Abraham. Whether you believe it or not doesn't matter, but she talks really well, or they talk really well about the law of attraction. Their book the first book is called Ask and It Is Given. And they might have one just on the stream of well-being, so if they do, get that. But the Ask and It Is Given talks about the stream of well-being very well. So if you could get that book, get it. Okay? So the other way that animals do it, they make it really important, and they do aligned actions. What I mean by aligned actions is whatever action they do, or many of the actions they do, are aligned with feeling good and feel good to them when they do it. They're not going, oh man, I gotta go dump the garbage and go off and walking down, dumping the stupid garbage and dumping. And then you strain, all of a sudden you twist your ankle dumping the garbage because you're not lined up with it. I know that this sounds like it's a lot of stuff. It's like, oh my God, that's a lot of stuff to do. But once you start getting into your stream of well-being the most important thing, you start clicking into it much easier. Before I do any call, before I do any live show, before I do any session, any reading, I always set an intention and I always line up with the action that I'm doing. Makes it easier, makes it better. It makes it something that you can do over and over and over again and make your life happy. But they don't do anything that's not aligned, that does not feel good. So, got my tissues ready. So what are some of the examples of the stream of well-being that I've seen. Well, I want to start first with my own cat, Sam. And I've talked a little bit about this when I talked about LOA, but I feel like the stream of well-being is an important enough topic that it had to have its own topic, because it is an extraordinary thing. And for me to have seen it, even long distance, wise, but for me to have seen it both with my own animals and other people's animals, it is incredibly powerful and incredibly life-changing. So my own experiences, Sammy, once he tore off the pinky nail of his finger, of his paw. And I didn't notice for a couple of days because Sam is very stoic. He was going in and out. He was the only cat. He was doing his thing, and he doesn't really let me know stuff. So if I don't get a sense for it, I don't know that anything's going on. So I didn't get a sense for it because he hid it from me. So a few days later, I noticed that he's limping a little bit. So I was like, okay, what happened? I look at his paw and I see that the thing is torn. And I was like, oh God, okay. So I rush him to the vet, and I take him to the vet, and the vet x-rays his paw and says, this is not good. And I was like, what? Because it did smell really bad. And I said, well, what? And what's going on? And she says, she said to me that the bone is disintegrating and that we might have to amputate his toe. And I was like, is there anything, what can I do before we do that? What can I do? And she said, well, I want you to take home, get some Epsom salt, soak his paw twice a day for about 10 minutes. And, then we'll see him in 5 days. So I did that. On top of that, I did that. I'm not going to I'll do what you want me to do. Even if they wanted me to give antibiotics, I would have done it. Whatever. Let's do it. Let's get her on the road to recovery. So I did that. At the same time, I was sending Sammy healing. And every single time I was doing healing sessions on Sammy, and at the time it was Reiki. It's advanced beyond that. But at the time it was Reiki, energetic healing, and I was just sending him energy. I was doing it 3-4 times a day. Okay. So his toe doesn't smell bad anymore and stuff like that there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just trusting, because Sam, through the entire time, just said, trust me, trust in my stream of well-being. I said, I'm trusting in you. I'm trusting in your stream of well-being. So cut to 5 days later, I go to the vet, and she takes another x-ray. And she looks at the x-ray, and her back is to us, so I don't really notice what's going on. But I just noticed that she's just standing there like this, looking at the x-ray. I can't see her face, but it's like this. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Or is it? So I'm looking at her, and she's like this. And I'm like, what's going on? So she turns to me, her hand's still over her face, and she's got her eyes are bugged out. And I was like, what is it? What's the matter? And she's like, no, it's fine. It's just his bone was deteriorating. I saw the holes. This is the first time. This is the first time that, this is the first x-ray, and this is the second x-ray. And you see where there's holes in the bone. I said, yeah. She said, and this is the bone now. The bone had grown back. It had grown back. And she said to me, I can't understand this. And I have no idea what's happening. And I said, well, I'll tell you what's happening if you really want to know. And she said, what? And I said, well, I gave him the Epsom salt. And she said, yeah, I know. And that should have just taken care of the infection. It shouldn't have grown back the bone. And I said, I know. And she said, what? I said, well, I trusted in my cat's stream of well-being, and I sent him Reiki. She was like, Okay. But let me tell you, I took him back. 2 years later, he cracked his tooth off, right? And she still remembered him. And she still talked about him. She still couldn't understand what the heck happened. But I'll tell you the same thing. Again, Sammy told me to trust in his stream of well-being. And she said this could get really, really bad, But what happened was that it can get infected and we might have to pull the remaining tooth. That tooth disintegrated. It just went away. She couldn't explain it either. So that's my experiences. So many of them line up with healing almost instantaneously, as long as you get out of their way. So just trust in their stream of well-being. Trust that they know what they're doing. Trust in what's happening. Trust in their stream of well-being. Okay? And I promise you it works out. So they don't listen. Animals aren't like us. They don't listen to the diagnosis. They listen to the desire. Not the diagnosis. What's my desire? What do I want this to be? What's the outcome that I want? That's what I'm focusing on. So if they're not lined up with transitioning, they will not transition. I've talked about this before. If they could get a diagnosis that they are going to die next Tuesday, and it is up to them to line up or not line up with that. And if they don't line up with that, they are not going to die. They are not going to transition. It's that simple. They also, they're not like us. They're not trapped in the mental merry-go-round. Is it working? Is it working? Isn't it working? Isn't it working? I don't know if it's working. I think it's working. It's kind of working. I saw it working. Well, they just line up with it. They're just like, it's working. I'm just going to get out of its way to the degree, and to the degree that I get out of its way, that's to the degree that it's working. So another important thing is kind of like to understand how I heal. When I heal, I always ask the animals permission before I send healing. And I always ask, do you want to heal from this? I need their permission. I need their agreement that they're lined up with the healing, because if not, I'm sending and it's bouncing off. If they're not lined up with it, just like anything else, like I said before, if they're not lined up with it, it's not going to work. So I always make sure that they're ready, willing, and able. So I posted yesterday an incredible example of the stream of well-being. And that was to a little dog, a little puppy by the name of Rocky, who I'm telling you a few days ago was at death's door. His person called me and said, left a voicemail on my cell phone and said, I am literally holding this pup in my hands and I think he's passing. And I was out at the time with friends, but I immediately started sending him healing. And then later on that night, I did a session with her. And again, I sent her healing, and been sending her healing every single day, same time. And 2 days later, there's the picture of Rocky. The first picture that I have of Rocky was him laying on her arms. I didn't post that. The second one is of a movie. The first one is of a movie that's on my Facebook page. And that's Rocky a couple of days later, but he's still like looping around and he wants to be a puppy, but he can't. And then the picture that I showed you is Rocky sitting up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go. He still can't walk yet, but I have no doubt that dog will walk because he wants it. I can feel it. So if you want to see the stream of well-being in action, go to my Facebook and look at the picture and watch the little movie. The second example that I wanted to do was a experience I had in 2014 with a cat by the name of Fern, and that's Fern. Say hello to Fern, everybody. Fern is awesome. So let me read you what I wrote because that's a little bit better. So, well, actually, hang on one second. Let me just say, Fern had his first session on December 16, 2013. He was attuned to Reiki. I attuned myself to Reiki on February 15th, 2014. Now, Fern transitioned on April 12th, 2014. So, let me read you the experience. This is Fern, an extraordinarily special being. He told us from the very first session, and this blew my mind, that the only thing he wanted in life was what was most important to him was to have as much time as possible with his mom. So, what he wanted to do was, Fern was diagnosed with bone cancer, or a form of cancer, and he wanted to go through chemotherapy. That was the last thing I thought I was going to hear. I thought I was going to hear him say, no, I'm ready to go. I'm not going to go through that. Thanks, but no thanks. He wanted to go through chemotherapy. He wanted to be with his mom. Through all the treatments he had for his cancer, I sent him Reiki, and at his request, attuned him to Reiki Master as well. He stunned his doctors time and time again with how well he was doing. Some of them couldn't even believe that he had cancer at all. He lived every day to the fullest, never complaining, and always through it all, he kept saying how happy he was to spend another day with his mom. His mom called me last night and said that she felt it was time that we helped Fern transition back home. For me personally, I know that from just communicating with him, that Fern helped me to be a better person. And most of all, a better healer. And he touched the lives of many people and became a medical miracle to his vets. And he was able to spend his remaining days showered with love and give it in return. Now, Fern, again, was diagnosed in December. He transitioned in April. He had 4 months with his person, almost over 4 months with his person. And to him, that 4 months was everything. To him, that 4 months was worth going through chemotherapy. And he still stunned his vets because he lined up with his stream of well-being. He lined up with his stream of well-being. He did that, and he went through chemotherapy, which most people couldn't get through, but he got through it. And it was intense because he stunned his vets because they thought that he was going to be dead in 2 weeks. And he lived for almost 4.25 months. So, thanks everybody for the hugs. So I'll take everybody's comments and questions at the end. So the next one is, Carrie, I got Petunia's pig with me. So the next one is, Petunia. Now Petunia was beyond. I mean, just beyond. So she was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, bone cancer, at the end of February 2017. She transitioned November 22nd of the same year. 9 months. 9 months. So let me tell you a little bit about Petunia. Okay? Yeah, the pig. And if you can notice, the pig in the picture, and this is my favorite picture of Petunia. The pig in the picture is the pig that I got sent. And I know she's crunchy and she's disgusting, but I think she's cool and I love that damn pig. So Petunia. When I first connected with Petunia, she told me there was a question. Her person, Carrie, had a question. Do we amputate her leg? It's in the leg. What do we do? Do we amputate it? Petunia said that she didn't want her leg amputated. She agreed with her people. And that she also said that everything would be fine. Now, I didn't get that she was going to be, I'm not talking about being healed from the cancer. I'm just saying that everything was going to be fine. So, Petunia was getting allopathic, radiology, and included, oncology, and natural healing, and getting a combination of emergency vet care from a wonderful vet clinic that a person that's close to her person, oncology care, and energetic healing from me. So she was getting a whole mix of stuff. All right. Her vet said to her person, wrong breed, wrong age, wrong disease, which means what Petunia was having was for the big dogs. Petunia was a bulldog, okay? She was a bulldog. She wasn't supposed to have this disease, but somehow or another she manifested it, whatever. She wasn't supposed to have this kind of disease, but she did. So there was some times that this dog, I kid you not, stunned me. And I've seen a lot, okay? But she stunned me, okay? When I first connected with Petunia to tell her, when I first connected to Petunia, it was to tell her, because her person was concerned, she needs to calm down, because she's so enthusiastic, she's going to snap her leg, because the bone cancer was in her leg, so they were afraid, she's going to snap it, because that's what they were expecting to happen, that bone was going to snap at any minute. So Carrie asked me to tell Petunia to calm down. I'd say, Petunia, you gotta calm down. You gotta relax. You gotta just be chill. And, you can, I told her this. I think I said this. I think I remember saying something like, and you'll be able to live longer and you'll feel better and all this kind of stuff. Petunia, man. I remember she said, she's getting, she paid no attention. She paid no attention. She would say, yeah. And then she'd keep living her life the way she wanted to. She wouldn't calm down. This dog would not calm down. She would play. She would run. She would jump. She would jump off the bed, jump off the couch. She paid no attention to us. She knew better. So sometimes Carrie would send me, a text message or a message on Facebook, and she'd say, it would seem almost like Petunia is on death's door, and I say, I'm on it. Let me send her some healing. I'm sending her healing right now. And as soon as I sent her healing, she would jump up, start playing with her pig, or start barking or something else like that there, running around or doing something crazy like that. Or she would come back from her oncologist and, we would expect her, to be like, oh, I'm exhausted. That was an exhausting treatment. And she'd come back from a radiology treatment and she'd be like, I want to play with my pig. Throw the pig. You throw the pig. She'd go running after the pig, jump on the bed, throw the pig, running off the bed. This is a dog with bone cancer. Bone cancer. All right? They thought her leg, they were waiting for her leg to weaken and snap. She would just like, all of a sudden, bam, she would line up with her stream of well-being. Just bam, I'm back. Okay, I had this happen, but I'm lining up with it. I'm not going to let this stop me. She wanted to feel good. She made wanting to feel good the most important thing in her life, because she knew through that she was going to get as much time with her person, Carrie, and her other person as possible. She stunned all of her vets, all of her allopathic and oncology vets, all of them. She stunned all of them. You know, she was not following the textbook diagnosis of a dog with bone cancer, and it was throwing them off. And like Sammy, like Fern, the vets were saying, I have never seen anything like this. We are off the reservation. We're off the grid. We have no idea what to expect. This dog is breaking all the rules. All the rules. So, again, she would not let stuff, she shouldn't even be here, they kept saying. She shouldn't even be here. And she's still here. 9 months. This went on for 9 months. And that dog this dog walked into her vet office the day she transitioned. That bone did not snap because she didn't want it to. She didn't line up with that. She lined up with healing. She lined up with feeling good. I mean, come on. That's the stream of well-being. That's the stream of well-being. That's how powerful it is. All of them are incredible. All of them. Sammy, Fern. I have other for clients I could go into. Both, some are here, some have transitioned. But all of them are amazing. And they all lined up with their healing, no matter what the healing was, whether it was chemotherapy or Reiki or oncology or radiology or numerology or some kind of ology. They lined up with it. They got out of their own way. They stepped into their stream of well-being and they rode it all the way to the other side. That is incredible. And that's what they showed me. That's what they showed me. Angel Lynn. Another person online right now is Donna Haley LeBeau. Donna Haley LeBeau. She's newly married. And her dog, Angel Lynn. Same thing. Ask her about her experience with Angel Lynn and how incredible she was. Now look, this is not touting my healing. Although my healing is amazing, it's not touting me as a person because I couldn't do anything without these animals lining up. This is touting how powerful the stream of well-being is and how you should do everything in your power every single second to line up with this thing because it is extremely intense and it is extremely needed. Can you imagine how this world would be if people made lining up with their stream of well-being the most important thing? Feeling good the most important thing? This world, that's the way to nirvana. And I'm not talking to heaven. I'm talking that's the way how we make nirvana here. Feel good. Make it so that it's the most important thing for you to do. Now, all these animals, like I said, they're all amazing. They all lined up with it, with the healing. Because bottom line, nothing can be done without your permission. Nothing can be done without the strength of belief. Nothing can be done and the strength of will. The strength of will and the strength of belief is a strong factor. And it stuns me that so many people still believe that animals are less when they are so much more. Not more than us, but more than they think they are. They inspire me every single day to strive to flow with my stream of well-being. I make that paramount above anything else. That's why people call me as positive as I am. It's about wanting to feel good. It's about honoring them through honoring the stream of well-being. They showed me that You know something? They show me that I am a child of the universe, and it's my divine right to always have health, to always have abundance, to always have good times and joy. That's what they showed me. Every single second of every single moment of every single day. That's what the stream of well-being can do for you. So that's when I get, that's when they also showed me, look, they're not always in it, but what's the most important thing is, okay, obviously I'm not in my stream of well-being, but you know something? I'm going to do whatever I can to get back in, because feeling good is everything. Now, from the bottom of my heart, all these animals, I want to say thank you. You know, to all the fur ones out there who gave me permission to send healing their way. Because they made me a better person. They made me a better healer. They inspired me with their courage, with their inner strength. By their fuck you, it's my life attitude. You know, I'm sorry, but they did. Petunia was real good at the fuck you, it's my life attitude. But it is their life. So get out of my way. And if you can line up with it, great. And if you can't, then get out of my way, because I'm lined up with it. So to all these animals, I want to say thank you. And I promise you, you'll all live in my heart forever. I love you too, Gary. Okay, so if anybody's got any questions or any comments or want to share their own experience with the stream of well-being, please feel free. I'm going to look back a little bit. So Donna says the night after the surgery, she was running in the yard with only 3 legs from the osteosarcoma tumor. So see, now Petunia did not want to have her leg amputated. But Angel Lynn lined up with that. And she had the exact same cancer as Petunia. See, this is why it's like you can't use cookie cutters with them. That's why it's like, and I'm not saying me, I'm just saying if your animal is sick and it's something like that, it's really important to get their side of it. Because you don't know, and to talk to an animal communicator, because you don't know what they're lined up with until you ask them. I mean, when I remember when I was talking to Angel Lynn, it hurt me to say, amputate the leg. It hurt me to say that. The same thing, it hurt me to say when Petunia, don't amputate the leg, because I'm like, I don't know what, but she doesn't want it. She says it's going to be okay. So thank you, Donna, for sharing Angel Lynn's little story with us. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Donna also says osteosarcoma is unforgivable in some animals. It is. It is a very interesting, and in people too, you know. Cheryl says, I am in this right now with my older collie Pippin, having dementia issues and back weakness. I know Pippin. And, you know, anything I could do for you, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to do a healing for Pippin if you need. Kim says, I wish you could see my pug Pixie. Wait a minute, I'm going to put this over here. I wish you could see my pug Pixie listening to you. Her head is going side to side and so serious. I hope she's not saying no. I hope she's saying yes. Tracy says, LOL. Sorry. Today I finally decided to chill and get back into my stream. I'm going to remember this lesson I learned from my fur kids. Thank you. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, everyone. So if anybody has any further questions or comments, please feel free to post them on this video or to send them to me. Do all you can to feel good. It's so important, and we put it on the back burner, and it should be the first thing we do, and the first thing we strive to do when we wake up in the morning, and the first thing and the last thing we do when we go to sleep at night. Feel good, no matter what. Do whatever you can to feel good, and ride your stream of well-being. And you will ride your stream of well-being to the well-being that is rightfully yours. So, thank you everybody for joining me. Episode 25 is next week. This one is very personal. And it's about, I'm going to be talking about vaccinations and my own personal experience with rabies. So, again, this is not saying vaccinations are bad. It's just giving you my own experiences and how the animals also see vaccinations. I think it goes well with the stream of well-being. Just saying. So the TAE, the animal experience, can be found on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, under my name, Coryelle Kramer. And it has its own Facebook page, The Animal Experience Show. If you want a session or a reading, that can be found on my website, which is www.coryellekramer.com.